Hello and welcome to Conquer Your Finances, Conquer Your Life. I'm your host, Dawn Santoriello, and each and every week I empower you to live a happier, healthier, and wealthier lifestyle. So today, it's very timely that we're going to be talking about college planning, how to pay for college, and the steps to get your student prepared, because summer's winding down now and it's time to start focusing, whether you have kids going into high school right now, or they're seniors in high school, deadlines are coming up, so we're going to just talk about all that today. So let's talk about the finances. Now, colleges are very expensive. It can be anywhere for like a 4-year degree, about $250,000 now. And that, if you have 3 kids, that's almost $1 million, $750,000 just to pay for your kids' college. So the most common form and way of saving is most people save in 529 plans. So now there's some benefits to 529 plans. The money grows tax deferred, and if you use it for college, it's tax free. But that's also the downside of it as well. If you don't use it for college, it's taxed as an ordinary IRA, where if you're under 59 and a half, you can take the money out, you're hit with a 10% penalty and have to claim it as income. And another major drawback is that this is actually going to count against you when you go to apply for financial aid, because they'll look and see, okay, what are your assets? Okay, you have all this money in 529 plans. Well, before we give you anything, you're going to have to spend that down. And I have a real life example. This actually happened to a colleague of mine. His son got a hockey scholarship, but he had saved $100,000 in his 529 plan. So he had to spend that out before he got his full ride scholarship. So again, there's differences, and plus you're in mutual funds, so they have their costs, and depending on what the market is. So there's lots of things you want to look at. So I could help you do a free analysis and help you, is this a good product for you to be in? Now, another product that is often overlooked because most people, they just don't understand it, is overfunded life insurance. Now, this is the best vehicle for saving, I think, at least in my opinion, because they don't count it on the FAFSA forms. And the FAFSA form is what they're going to use when you go to apply for aid and tell you this is what you're awarded. So what the benefits of the life insurance is that it grows tax deferred, and when you take it out, it's tax free. And if your kids get scholarships and you don't need it, you have the money in there, and it's also used for retirement. And that's what I see a lot with my clients. They're struggling. They say, Dawn, how am I going to do this? I have 3 kids that I have to pay their college for, and I have to save for retirement. There's just not enough money. Well, that's why I'm all about maximizing the efficiency of your money. So why not use permanent overfunded life insurance, because you're covering all that. You're going to be able to pay for college, and then also you're going to be able to use that for retirement as well, as long as it's set up properly. And I'd be more than happy to give you a review to look at everything. So that covers the financial piece. Now I want to introduce my special guest. His name is Anthony Weinkopff, and he's with Embrace Tutoring and Educational Services.
Yeah, thank you, Dawn. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. You've certainly done your homework. I like it.
Yeah, I don't just pretend to be someone that knows stuff on TV.
You've definitely done your homework, yeah.
Thanks. So now tell me, what does your company provide? What services do you offer?
Embrace Tutoring and Educational Services mainly specializes in creating those customized academic roadmaps for the students and families. We generally offer private tutoring, college counseling, diagnostic testing, as well as small group classes that are affiliated with a number of local high schools. Often the parents and students will come to us, and they we'll form those relationships, we'll identify their needs, their goals, and kind of even long-term goals. I also identify their current financial situation, really how often they may need tutoring for various reasons in their next chapter of furthering education. We will then match them with our experienced private tutors, as well as put them into our program. All of our hours are able to be transferred from subject to subject, and we offer a number of kind of consultation services throughout that program to better educate and empower the students and the families. You mentioned FAFSA, we do content emails of how to complete your Common App, how to complete your FAFSA, how to complete things of that nature, while they're participating in private tutoring to, for the most part, really enhance their test prep scores as well as their high school GPA.
So this is good, because sometimes there's a lot of programs out there where you're just paying for something and then you got to take stuff that you don't even need. So this is highly customizable, so you're getting the most out of your money, maximizing it.
Yeah, essentially there really isn't we treat every family differently. However, we do have a series of checklists that we've worked with families for a number of years, the hundreds and thousands of families that we've worked with and have gone on, and I certainly encourage anyone to visit our embracetutoring.com and look at our college acceptances page, just to kind of get a general overview of who we are and really what we do. But we do not have it's not really cookie cutter. We treat every family differently in a special sense, and we really want them to understand that every student's academic journey is a little bit different. We don't generally define success as in where they're getting into kind of some of the more name brand schools. We really define success by giving the students the opportunity to choose what's in their best interest, because often their test prep scores and their GPA will be and when referring to college admissions, we also do admissions for private high schools, right? We do admissions for graduate schools or medical schools, right? And medical schools are going to look at your MCAT, they're going to look at your outgoing college GPA. So whatever phase or chapter they're in terms of furthering their education, we work with students and families to provide those private tutors to better enhance their scores overall. Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of companies out there. So now, what would you say gives you a leg up against your competition?
That's a great question. Outside of us truly making things customizable for the family that we're speaking with, and we have a number of features. We have a great customer service program. We certainly do the content emails. We're getting ready to launch a new series of online classes to better enhance kind of the students. I would say the primary feature is that we only hire experienced educators. We only hire experienced educators that come to us with a record of proven success. 100% of Embrace educators have at least 2 years or more of teaching experience. Many of which, I would say the average duration of teaching for an Embrace educator is right around 8 years, because a lot of them have taught at very kind of prestigious universities or high schools, colleges, and they'll come to us for kind of, they still love teaching, they still want to have that sense of mentorship and that sense of guidance, but they're removed from the classroom sometimes because of the fact that they're retired, they've done their 25 years, and they're happy to kind of work with us. So overall, you'll notice that if other parents and families were to shop around, what they'll really notice is that many other colleges will essentially, or many other agencies will typically use college students to teach, whereas we're hiring the teachers to do the tutoring.
And that's great. So, because you want to have people who actually have experience and know what colleges are looking for.
What's so vital as the students are working with the educators, that we want individuals who are a master of their craft, but we also want individuals who know what it's like to write grades, right? Right. We want individuals who understand the dynamic and have those exceptional interpersonal skills and communication skills, because we want the students to become engaged and committed in the process, and they're going to do that when they truly feel that the educator is invested in their success. So we're hiring mentors as well as educators. That's exactly right. That's a kind of a key component.
And hold on, don't go anywhere, because we have to go to break. I know this is really exciting. We have a lot of stuff to get in, but we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Don Santoriello is an investment advisor representative IAR with Kaplan John LLC, a registered investment advisor RIA firm. DS Financial is an affiliate branch office of Kaplan John LLC. Don has a Bachelor of Science degree in Finance from Adelphia University. The information, data, and opinions contained herein this communications are provided solely for the informational or educational purposes. They are not warranted to be complete, correct, or accurate. To the extent permitted by law, Kaplan John LLC does not accept any liability arising from this communication. You should not assume that any information, data, or opinions contained herein serves as a receipt of or a substitute for personalized investment advice from Kaplan John LLC, its IARs, or any other investment. Past performance is not an indication of future results, and actual results may vary. Investment carries an inherent element of risk, including the risk of losing invested principles. Thank you.
Welcome back to Conquer Your Finances, Conquer Your Life. I'm your host, Dawn Santoriello, and today my guest is Anthony Weinkopff of Embrace Tutoring and Educational Services. So here's a question. I know we might ruffle a few feathers, but that's what we're all about.
Go for it.
So how important, I know you mentioned high schools, does it really matter if you go to a public school or a private high school?
Okay. Dawn.
Want me to get my opinion first?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, but I think, because I'm from New York, Long Island, so we had great school systems.
Okay.
So
True.
we always, and there was 5 girls at one time going in high school. So we went to public school, and I was in AP classes, did all these activities, and so when I was, as long as you want something, you can go out there and make anything happen, even if you don't go to college. Not recommended that you don't go to college, but you can still be successful as long as you want it. That's my thing. What do you think?
I actually agree with you at face value that you can certainly choose your own destiny and kind of really take a number of actions to put yourself in a better place, regardless of the high school you choose to go to, or even regardless of college. Sometimes the military or vocational school may be in the best interest. And wholeheartedly, however you define success, just right, we're on a show here in terms of financial strategies, but also choosing to live well and be happy and health. That is really the most important thing. What I will say is that when asking yourself that question, and obviously you can put yourself in a better position regardless of what high school you go to, but when asking that question, what you're really asking is, how will colleges perceive me going to this high school, right? High school A versus high school B. And it doesn't necessarily have to be private versus public by any means. It could certainly be private in considering charter schools or other schools, or perhaps even like a study abroad program. Really what you need to be aware of is that the private high schools, many of them will offer features for smaller classroom environments, more personalized attention. They will have more resources for the students to sometimes pursue that academic need that they may want. They may have more resources to put on that program, rather for the theater or research or independent research, perhaps if you want to do a study. Sometimes they will offer AP classes that may not be offered otherwise. Certainly with a smaller classroom environment, with more resources, you feel as though you're being set up and the tools that you have around you are going to be more beneficial. Now, there are a number of really terrific public high schools. There are a few even charter schools, but the perception of how those colleges will then look at those schools, a lot of that is also really dictated by the SAT scores, because the schools will keep the colleges, the universities will kind of keep a anecdotal data on if they know that certain students from applying from a particular high school are coming into that university or that college, then they will know, oh, well, we've had students that have gone through our program before coming from this high school who are now studying, let's say, biochemistry. And what we know that they've seen these lab protocols. We know that they've been successful. We know that they've kind of put themselves in a better position. And sometimes colleges will also have data in terms of schools outgoing average SAT scores or average ACT scores. So on the surface, if you're trying to compare schools kind of quickly at face value, colleges can use that information to say, well, this one particular high school, public or private, averages 200 to 300 points higher on the SAT, and we know that those students coming from that school have already had a significant advantage participating in our program previously. That student certainly gets a lot more consideration than the student previously, assuming also both of these students are completely even at face value on paper, but their test prep scores and their incoming GPA are definitely going to be the two most important factors during the college admission process.
Now, what if you have someone who's really smart, they have a high GPA, but they can't take tests and they get really low scores?
That does happen, and the colleges actually do their best to figure that out in terms of what they call a scale. So something really important to consider is that the test prep scores regarding the SAT or the ACT, as well as the student's incoming GPA, do matter. The course load actually is used to help calculate that student's incoming GPA at college, because different classes will receive different values for an incoming freshman based upon the perception of the college of how they would classify that class. Like, what number value do they associate with a student coming in who's taken AP Bio or AP Chem? They'll then use the students' incoming test prep scores as well as the GPA in order to kind of create that scale of, well, where do they fall regarding admissions? And then a big consideration for a number of families is how much merit-based aid, what we generally refer to as scholarships, how much merit-based aid will be rewarded to those students. So by far, the test prep scores and the GPA and course load or matter significantly in order to actually get into that pile, right? In order to get through that filtering process, and so the colleges will consider you as an early applicant. And then many of those same factors are strongly considered when the colleges are evaluating finances or how much merit-based aid or scholarships will we award to this family.
Now here's another thing too. So there's the ACT and the SAT. Do they take
Yeah.
both? One or the other? What's better?
Oh, that's according to for Embrace Tutoring Educational Services for really our experience. Students will generally focus on one test over the other, and I would say that the core differences between the tests are the timing per question and the styles per question. The content is actually relatively similar between both tests, but the timing per question, where the ACT is significantly faster than it's about an average of 25 to 30 seconds per question, versus the SAT, which has more to each problem, but they're slightly more complex in the way that they ask the questions. But you're averaging about 50 seconds per question on the essay. So that it really goes into the style of the student as well as some of their math background, I would say, because the test will have slightly different styles of math questions.
That's great because I've never heard anyone explain it that way. So I would definitely recommend anyone who has college kids headed to college, high school, definitely work with you because you're really in there and being customized. I like that.
Yeah. Well, we only hire experienced educators, so it helps to have an ear to the ground in terms of where the ever-evolving world of college admissions or education, and even still high school admissions or graduate school admissions, it does help to have professionals who really understand kind of that dynamic. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we got to go to commercial break again. I know time is flying, so don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Don Santoriello is an investment advisor representative IAR with Kaplan John LLC, a registered investment advisor RIA firm. DS Financial is an affiliate branch office of Kaplan John LLC. Don has a Bachelor of Science degree in Finance from Adelphia University. The information, data, and opinions contained here in this communications are provided solely for the informational or educational purposes. They are not warranted to be complete, correct, or accurate. To the extent permitted by law, Kaplan John LLC does not accept any liability arising from this communication. You should not assume that any information, data, or opinions contained herein serves as a receipt of or a substitute for personalized investment advice from Kaplan John LLC, its IARs, or any other investment. Past performance is not an indication of future results, and actual results may vary. Investment carries an inherent element of risk, including the risk of losing invested principals. Thank you.
Welcome back. I'm here talking with Anthony Weinkopff, and we're talking about how to prepare for college and what we should be doing. So, what kind of tips do you have for people now? They're going back to school, there's tons of deadlines.
Yeah.
It's crazy. How do you sort it out?
That's a great question. I would say that the number one best tip I can give, well actually, I'll segue with this. The first best tip I can give is that understand the importance of understand how important or pivotal this process is, so that way students and families are more engaged and kind of committed to putting themselves in a better place. The second tip, when you acknowledge the fact that you're really putting yourself in a better place and your study skills and your strategies and reading comprehension and everything are really improving, and giving yourself more opportunity to choose which school is the best fit for you, then the actual best tip I would give is start early and create a plan. And you're more than welcome to visit individuals, more than welcome to contact us on embracetutoring.com. They're more than welcome to call our consultants, and we'd be happy to kind of work out a plan with them. And we even provide an Embrace kind of college checklist for those students that are looking to apply, just to help them. Like, think about all the little things that, have they completed their FAFSA? When are they taking AP tests? Do they plan to take subject tests? Have they even chosen between the SAT or the ACT? When do they plan to go on college visits? If so, how many? Where? What size? Right. So you'll really need to have a definitive plan. Parents will need to be involved, and I would definitely seek the advice from experienced professionals. Certainly, if not embracetutoring.com, I would gladly start with your high school first. Go and visit your college counselor. And if you're a student, sit down with your math teacher and understand some of the general SAT review or ACT. How do those questions correlate to the test, since they're slightly different in terms of the content, but there are a lot of similarities. So I would say start grassroots first. Make sure you go and speak with your college advisor, go and speak with your college counselor, go and speak with your teachers. And then when you feel as though you have a general understanding of the types of schools you may want to apply to, and you've taken your actual test in order to for average incoming scores for SAT or ACT, then you'll have a much better understanding of, do you need those subject tests? Will you need to prepare for the college essay? right? Perhaps you need to do some sort of independent research in order to enhance your chances. Those are all things to consider. I would start a plan, or start early and create a plan.
Yeah, and that's what I forgot to mention too. Like, people, as soon as your kid is born, you should start saving, get strategies in place. But a lot of times people are procrastinators, so I see people, their kids are in high school, and yes, there are still some things that you could do while your kids are in high school. It's late planning, but you could pay a lot less for college. That's why it's good to work with both of us and combine and say, okay, which college is going to be the most
you're absolutely right.
paid?
And we speak with so many families where they'll have twins, and what about, and because for so many families, college is often the most expensive decision they'll ever make in their life, unless they're living in a house that is above $300,000 or more. And if you have multiple children, as you were alluding to earlier in your show, it is 90% of the time the most expensive decision they'll make. So individuals like yourself and individuals like Embrace can really help those families to kind of put themselves in a better position, so they're more educated regarding that process. Whether they choose to fully participate in the services or not, information is really going to be key, so they have a better opportunity to make what's the best possible decision for them and their family.
Now, what's the success rate for you and your company in placing the students and getting them financial aid? Are you able to get them full rides? Or?
Well, a number of our students, yes, but we define success, kind of going back to it, as giving the students the opportunity to choose. It's not necessarily the name brand schools, but we average right around a 300-point increase on the SAT. We have several students that get perfect scores, but then sometimes the real reward is the student who wants to put his or herself in a better place, and they'll get their 1200 and they're yes, right? And sometimes that's the real, because we understand that every student is different, and we're just attempting to work with those students and the families to really put them in a better position. So in terms of success rate, we've had students get into the top choice schools. We've easily been represented within, I would even say, the 100 top choice schools, from the Ivies to Stanford, all the way down to even locally. A couple weeks ago, a student informed us. She contacted us and said, "Thank you, Embrace, for everything you've done. I got a full ride to TC&J. I'm going to take it." I said, "That's terrific." Yes.
The parents are probably happy.
Her mom sent a thank you card, and we were ecstatic. But that was the best school that she felt that she can call home over the next 4 years. They had programs that she wanted to do. It was suggested also by her college counseling services. She had utilized our services a little bit for private tutoring, diagnostics, as well as small group prep. We helped her to get there, and then she understood now here's what I have. I can make this choice of, do I want to apply further? Do I want to take this scholarship? And she's content. She's happy, and that's why we do it.
And she's probably doesn't even realize this because she's not thinking about this, because she's like, oh, I just got into college. But when she gets out, all her friends are gonna have tons of debt, and she's like, I'm debt free.
Yeah, she's gonna be set.
So she's like way ahead of the whole game now.
We actually are considering having her come on as an intern to offer some of those, just so that way she can. I mean, she's an incredible success story, but that way she can kind of help share her story and what she had done in order to put herself in a better position.
That's great to have a support group there.
Exactly, because that's important. We want the students to feel engaged and committed, and how many students are excited at showing up for SAT at 9 a.m.? It's not. Sometimes it's not the most exciting thing, and we fully get it. But the more they understand that they're committing themselves to a happier and more successful life through the skill development, it really will pay off in the long run, and that's what we want them to commit to and understand early on. Yeah.
Well, this is great. I'm so glad you were able to do my show.
Yeah, thank you.
So now, where can people? Oh, you're welcome. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's Friday. My brain's going on.
It's all good.
So where can people find you if they want to work with you and learn more about you?
So I would say the best place for individuals to find us would be www.embracetutoring.com. You're more than welcome to give us a call. I'll actually even disclose my personal business line. That way, if you want a free consultation, it's 908-255-5647. Once again, 908-255-5647. I would encourage you to go and visit embracetutoring.com. We have tons of resources for you. We're always here as a resource, as well as just to help really put your family in a position of success. Feel free to give us a call. We do have an offer waiting for you, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And also, I'm here available for you to give you a second fiduciary opinion and help you save the best way for college and show you how to maximize that. So you could check me out at dsfinancialstrategies.com. Also like our Facebook page at Conquer Your Finances, Conquer Your Life. And until next time, I keep hoping to empower you to live a happier, healthier, and wealthier lifestyle.